I was part of a fundamentalist Christian cult known as ATI, or Advanced Training Institute, within the Institute in Basic Life Principles, or IBLP. Recent scandals have hit the news about the cult leader, Bill Gothard, when over 50 women came forward with allegations that he sexually harassed them. But that's only scratching the surface. Let me tell you, my scariest experience. And just keep in mind, I'm far from the only one. First off, throughout my childhood, my father and sisters abused me sexually. Since the cult taught a strict familial hierarchy, with the father being top dog, then mother, then children in order of birth, as the youngest, I was bottom of the totem pole. My father would twist Bible verses to justify rape, death threats, and more. Because ATI is a homeschool cult, it was really handy to cover up the abuse from any prying eyes. My home was a prison for 11 years, until he died of a massive heart attack. And that's not even the scariest experience. Fast forward 2 years. I'm 13, with a mother who's frantically fixated on me being a troubled child because, one, I dared resist my father's advances and argue against the abuse I was suffering, gaining me the reputation of rebellious. Two, I'm severely depressed because I'm a freaking rape victim and depression is considered sin. And three, I asked too many questions as to why we believed the things we believed. You don't ask questions, needless to say. So, she calls some cult members here and there, pulls some strings, and long story short, she gets me placed in a secretive program called the Log Cabin Program. They tell her very little details about it, and she tells me even less. All I know is I'm about to move to Oklahoma for a while to be fixed by nice counselors because I'm a dirty sinner. Wednesday, July 11th, 2001. I'm dropped off at a lockdown compound in the middle of nowhere near Skiatook, Oklahoma, called Eagle Springs Training Center. They pose as a residential child care facility for appearance's sake. This means my mother literally signs over custody of me, her own child, to a bunch of strangers in a compound in the middle of nowhere and leaves me there and goes back home far away. They assure her I'm in good hands. For the next 2 years, I am tortured, brainwashed, starved, sleep-deprived, threatened with a shotgun, punished, humiliated, interrogated, and terrorized. I lose 40 pounds in the first month or two. They take me off my medications, believing it is wrong to take them. Cold turkey. I exhibit severe symptoms of withdrawal, and they go ignored. I am worked grueling hours, sent on aimless hikes and marches, scrubbing floors on my hands and knees until my knuckles are cracked and bleeding from the bleach, punished with hard labor until I'm near fainting. And they had fun coming up with new and strange punishments. This implies that it is deserved when in fact they are instructed specifically to break their students' will, whatever it takes. One was a forced vow of silence. You were told never to speak for days or weeks on end. If you do, you are punished further. I was given tasks designed to fail. For example, extremely short time limits on difficult tasks in order to be punished and humiliated. I was forced to grovel and confess humiliating sins existent and non, in front of the 30 or so members in the compound. I was given spoiled, undercooked foods, and even chemically treated water that burned my throat and left me horribly sick. I was placed in solitary confinement for 2.5 weeks while they blared music to torture me. The song lyrics went, "Trust in the Lord, He makes no mistakes. He knoweth the end of the path that we take. For when I am tried and purified, I shall come forth as gold." Basically, it was a blatant message. You're being tortured because God loves you, and He's going to put you through fire to melt you into gold. And gave me endless confessional papers to complete, detailing what a terrible sinner I am. I was interrogated for hours on end, as well as hypnotized. I was screamed at and exercised for hours on end. I had no privacy. Even going to the bathroom, they would stand outside the door. I could go on and on and on. I was there for 2 years. The scariest part of all of this is that I am far from the only one. The log cabin program was run in Oklahoma, Indiana, and I believe an alternate version for Russian orphans was done elsewhere, either Indiana or Illinois. All of these programs secretly tortured and brainwashed children and teenagers. Many of them were so-called delinquents. They had committed minor, petty crimes, who were ordered by judges to be shipped to these compounds and held against their wills. This runs very deep. It has never been accounted for and probably never will be. They tried to investigate alarming allegations of child abuse, some of which included beatings in Indianapolis, Indiana, and the whole thing got swept under the rug. The only thing you got to hear about on the news was Gothard feeling up a bunch of women. You never hear about his systematic child torture programs. Bill Gothard and IBLP simply have their fundamentalist hands in too many pies. They will probably never be caught.